Good morning. Before I start, what I'm going to get to, very quick update on the Sega MegaDrive Mini that I'm building, the Raspberry Pi Mini, as yet unnamed. I haven't really come up with anything usable. I am still doing it. I'm waiting for some parts to turn up, and then I've got the long process of desoldering and gluing and hacking and whatnot. At the moment, I've got like various packages coming in. Oh, there we go. Various packages coming in. A lot of it is just like LEDs, things like that. I've got to get all the parts. I've got a bag full of resistors and a little piezo speaker for some reason. Maybe I can do something with it, I don't know. And obviously I've got the box itself, which I've been looking into, and yes, I think it will fit, and yes, I think I have a way of making these buttons actually functioning. So yes, it's still going forward. Yes, I am working on it, waiting for some parts to come in because I'm doing it as cheap as possible. But hopefully, when it's done, it will be one-to-one with the PlayStation Legacy. Hopefully. So yeah, looking forward to that. So that's in the works. But then, quite serendipitously, I was out shopping a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Went into CEX, as I normally do, and I'm building up a collection, just a couple of quid here, a couple of quid there, a couple of quid here, buying PS2 games, original Xbox games, the occasional Wii game or GameCube game, just things that I'm interested in or I have never heard of, or I look at the box art and think, man, that is mad, I have to see what that is. And I've done that a couple of times. Pleasantly surprised by a few of them. Judge Dredd was awesome. Like, really liked Judge Dredd, Dredd v Death. Wet, which I recently put up a video on. I'd heard about it, saw it for a couple of quid, bought it. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Went into CEX, I think it was in Lewisham, and I saw this. Now again, very serendipitously, I have got multiple Sega Mega Drive collections. I've got them on the PS3, I've got them on the 360, I've got them on the PSP, I've got them on the PS2, and they're all like Mega Drive ROMs clubbed together. They just put out another one on PS4 and I think on the Switch and on the Xbox One. So I brushed over this, first of all. I didn't think anything of it, just brushed over it, went, no, got that. Don't need those. And then I sort of like took it out and looked at it. Now the box was thrashed. I've cleaned up the box, put it in a new box, cleaned it up. The back thing here is still a bit trashed, but it's in pretty good condition, and it's got the manual. And the disc, obviously the disc's not in there, the disc is in the PS2, but it's in good condition. So, what is it? Well, in Japan, Sega decided, once it realised it was out of the console business, like Dreamcast was gone, it decided that it was going to not only put its games on multi-platform stuff, but it was going to put out a line of budget games in Japan and call them the Sega Ages, because obviously Ages is Sega backwards. So the Sega Ages 2500 series. And the reason it was called the 2500 series, it cost 2,500 yen, which is about $20. So this was part of that. Now, what they did was they took some arcade games, some Master System games, some Mega Drive games, and remade them in 3D. Now, we never got the individual games in the UK, and I don't think they ever got them in the States either. But they were just, for 20 quid a piece, you would get a classic game remade in 3D specifically for the PS2. I had heard about them. I had never seen them, but I had heard about them. There were various volumes. They knocked them out in volumes rather than whatever. So there's 1 through, 12, 13. Never really seen them, but just heard about them. Saw this. Never realised it came out in the UK. It's a collection of them. There's 8 in there? And one of them is a double pack. Like the Bonanza Brothers is a double pack. So there's 9 games in here. Remade in 3D for the PS2. Of which I've never seen. And I just completely glossed over it. Because look, when you look at the spine like that, Sega Classics Collection tells you nothing. But this is the 3D Ages Classics Collection. So let's quickly have a quick look at what's in here, right? Columns. Columns is a 2D block game. Like Tetris, but it's in single lines. Like, I guess you could do that in 3D. But why? Why would you do that in 3D? Outrun. fairly obvious. Outrun would look great in 3D. Outrun 2006 on the Xbox and Outrun Coast to Coast on the PSP is amazing. So hopefully, like that. Golden Axe, I can't imagine Golden Axe being good. Like, Golden Axe is... The sprite work in Golden Axe is so good, I can't imagine it would translate well to 3D. There are 3D Golden Axe games. Beast Rider, for one. So, maybe that's good. I mean, they are... They're trying to keep them as close to the original Mega Drive thing as possible. So, Golden Axe remake here isn't going to be like Beast Rider. It's going to be like a 2D or 2.5D beat 'em up. Exactly the same. Hopefully. Virtual Racing. Now, this strikes me as a bit weird. I don't know why they would remake Virtual Racing. Virtual Racing was in 3D. So the Sega 3D Ages moniker kind of a bit redundant here because it was already in 3D. But nevertheless, it is a PS2 port of Virtual Racing. Now, my favourite port of Virtual Racing, I appreciate the Mega Drive version, which had its own special chip, the SVP chip in it. I appreciate it for what it was. But I'm never going to play that because it's horrid to play. I play the 32X version, which is really good. So hopefully, this is better than that. No idea. Monaco GP, never heard of. Super Monaco GP I have. And Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP 2, I played a lot on the Mega Drive. I have never played Monaco GP. I don't think I've ever heard of it. And looking at this, I damn sure haven't played it. So... yeah, not really... oh, wow. I've just seen Golden Axe. Boy. Anyway, Fantasy... yeah, so Monaco GP, don't know. Fantasy Zone. Fantasy Zone is an arcade... I mean, most of these came out in the arcade because Sega was a big arcade maker. Fantasy Zone, I remember being on the Master System. I don't remember it being on the Mega Drive. I remember it being very good on the Master System. So I'd like to see what they've done with that. It was like what's the best way of describing it? Kind of like Defender, but without picking up people. You're basically a ship. You go left. You can choose to go left or right. The world spins around. The world cycles about like if you ever played Resogun on the PS4 or the Vita, it's basically that. But way cuter. Like you play as this thing called Opa Opa, which is like a little sideways egg with feet and wings. It's pretty cool. Very Japanese. Bonanza Brothers. Now, I played a lot of Bonanza Brothers, but I didn't play it on the Mega Drive, and I definitely didn't play it in the arcade. I played it on here. Now, this is what I originally thought this was. This is a collection of 27 games, Mega Drive games, a couple of arcade games, and a few other like little rando games. For the PSP. This is where I play Bonanza Brothers, and I played a lot of Bonanza Brothers. I played a lot of everything on here. I found games on here that I didn't know existed, like Rystar, Shinobi 3, and just instantly fell in love with them. Like, I'd heard of them, I'd seen them, but I never played them properly. After a on and off 6 month spell in hospital, and with this and a PSP, and that's it, back in 2006, whenever this came out. 2006. So in 2006, like, no internet really. Yeah, so just this, a PSP, and like the best part of 6 months in hospital. Not for me. My wife was in hospital for the best part of 6 months, so played a lot. Bonanza Brothers was up there. I don't like Bonanza Brothers. I don't think it's very good, but I played a lot of it, like, if that makes sense. So I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know why they picked it. A. B, I don't know how they can make it better being 3D unless they had like a first-person mode or something. It's part of a double pack as well. The second game is Tant R. No idea. Never heard of it. Because these were a Japanese, for want of a better term, they're Japanese exclusive. The 3D Ages remakes, like the 2500 series. I guess it was big in Japan. Maybe? I don't know. And the last one, Space Harrier. Now, Space Harrier is a gimme. Like, if you're going to remake any Sega game in 3D that was 2D, you would start with Space Harrier. That's the obvious go-to. It just makes the most sense. You're running it it makes the most sense to come at you with polygons and everything else. I'm hoping that they have done something a little bit more with these, like added to them. For example, Virtua Racing on the 32X, the version I play a lot and have played a lot of, it's got 2 extra courses and 2 extra cars from the arcade. I'm assuming all of these are based on the arcade port, so I'm assuming Golden Axe is the arcade port and Outrun is clearly the arcade port, because why would you do the Mega Drive? Even though that the Mega Drive version is the version of Outrun that I played the most, like why would you pick that over the arcade version? And the others I'm not sure about, but Space Harrier, Virtua Racing, Golden Axe and Outrun, like they're clearly porting the arcade versions. So hopefully there's more in it than the arcades. Extra tracks, extra missions, extra bosses, extra... Golden Axe. Golden Axe is going to be bad, isn't it? Fingers crossed. But yeah, so hopefully they do what they did with Virtua Racing on the 32X, was to add like 2 courses and 2 new cars. I'm hoping that they do that with all of these. Like, it's not just, here's the thing that you've played before, but in 3D. Like, I want, here's the thing you've played before in 3D, and also we gave you this. Even if it's just like a time attack mode or I don't know, like a horde mode or something. But, columns. Like, anyway. So, yeah, I walked into CEX. I brushed past this. Like, I mean, if you look at that, why would you? Like, Sega Classics Collection. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, hopefully they're good. What I'm going to do, and here's the thing, it was kind of serendipitous because I'm building the MegaDrive Mini. While I'm waiting for parts to turn up, why not take a look at the original game, or at least a port of the original game. So, for example, I might not look at all of the arcade versions of these. Maybe I'll mix it up and look at them on various home ports. So, look at the various versions, like the home versions, the most common versions, whatever, and then look back to back to see, not necessarily if it's better or worse, just to see the differences and to see if playing this, like, will I get £5 worth out of this? Hopefully I will. Hopefully. I mean, I love Virtua Racing, so, and I love columns, but the rest of them, Space Harrier is great, Outrun I'm terrible at, but is this worth a £5? And of all of those games, are they better? Are they worse? Is there any point to them? Bonanza Brothers. All right, cool. So let's fire up the Raspberry Pi and then fire up the PS2, capture both, and let's see, is this worth it?